Hello, good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Today I want to share briefly on three advantages that starting a business gives you. Three advantages that starting a business gives to any of us who starts a business. Three advantages. I think largely the moment you are pushed through the school that they have all over the world, I think by the time that you're through, by the time that you've been through school for at least 20 years, you've been programmed to a large extent to look for job. And if you look at the courses that they offer in our schools, in our secondary schools, in our universities, in all these professional schools, you will see that a large chunk of the courses that they give us, the programmers look something that, I mean, if you look at a lot of our courses, you can easily see that a lot of these courses were designed so that we go to work for somebody, for the government, for multinationals, for a lot of these organizations who have the infrastructure already. So I mean, you go through from engineering to medicine to pharmacy to a lot of the social courses. Basically, by the time you are through, you've been programmed to look for a job. And so even the business courses is the same. So a lot of the times you meet people and the understanding of what it takes to start a business and become successful. A lot of the times, that understanding is very far from reality. A lot of the times, very far from reality. So, and then when you meet the other ones who are building some kind of business on their own, and who have just begun, they have to also maybe lift up a lot of their understanding and a lot of their philosophy of what building a business is about and the journey and what they are likely to go through. So I want to share with you some three advantages that building a business is likely to give you after all the troubles, after all the challenges, after all the difficulties, even in the midst of it, even in the middle of the processes. The process is never easy for anybody. No matter the size of the business, no matter the years that you have done the business, there is always something that the business person, an entrepreneur, is dealing with. Whether it's your first day of business or your maybe you've been in business for 20 years, there's always something that you're always dealing with. So what are some of the advantages that you have to, because a lot of the times to keep on with the journey, you would have to look at some of the advantages, and those advantages a lot of the times will motivate you to keep going. So the first one is the sense of freedom that we seem to have when you're building business. And the freedom is not freedom in terms of where I don't want to work for anybody kind of freedom. No. The freedom I'm talking about is the connection you seem to get with yourself in terms of, especially those who believe that they have to build this business, those who have some sense of mission, those who have some sense of purpose in building a business. You will seem to just think that you are connected with something higher than yourself, and therefore, you're born to do this or build this, make these changes with the business that you're building. And if you're able to connect with that, that itself gives some sense of freedom, some sense of satisfaction. And sometimes it's not even the successes. Sometimes even in the middle of all the challenges and the difficulties, the fact that you are connecting with something that you think you were born to do, something that you think has some sense of direction, some sense of purpose. Building a business, if you connect with that, it gives you a freedom, some kind of freedom that very few people seem to get in life. Very few people seem to get that kind of sense of purpose, that kind of sense of freedom that building business will seem to give to any of us who tries to build a business. So there is that, because you get to work with once you connect with that, you will seem to have some kind of freedom, and a lot of the times too, you have some kind of freedom over your time, so to say. Yes, greetings, Ruth, Reggie. Yeah, greetings. So you seem to have some kind of freedom over your time, and you seem to have some kind of freedom as to the schedules and how your timetable goes. So you get up in the morning, you're able to decide, what you are going to do today, because you're driven by that mission, by that vision. The business, whether it's a day old business or 2 months business, whatever, a number of years that you seem to have control over your time to a large extent. You can decide to work all through the night and sleep in the morning, or you can decide to work through all the day and sleep in the night. You can decide to work 24 hours, or you can decide to work 2 hours, depending on your sense of agency, your sense of mission, and the task at hand. You are the one responsible of how things run. Everything comes to comes to you, and you are in charge of a lot of things. Now, this is not what those who are not building business seem to get. A lot of the times they have something that they have a shadow that is coming from the top, and they are told what to do. As to they are giving instruction, they are giving direction. They don't seem to have the fancy. So building business, when you start, and the moment you start a business, you register it or you have not registered it, now you are thrust into leadership, you are pushed into leadership, you automatically become responsible for the good and the evil, the bad and the good. You are automatically. So you decide. Yesterday you were thinking, I want to start a business. Now today you start a business, you start to get calls, you push yourself. The moment you start to do that, now you decide you have to be organized. That comes, that brings some kind of satisfaction. That brings some kind of freedom, because you decide. You can decide to travel to this place today or the next place today. If you've never built business before, very few who are employed have that kind of leverage. Very few from the top. Maybe they are even consultants, or they are, I don't know, maybe, but majority of the people who are employed, they don't seem to have a lot of control beyond the schedule, the timetable, that they have, that the job that they have gives them. So when you start a business, you seem to have that sense of freedom, where you are like an artist. You are trying to build something. You are like a musician who is trying to produce music. You're like maybe somebody who is behind the maybe a carpenter trying to build a furniture. Your creativity is tapped into you want to express that. So even though the business is not something that is so physical, you're building something and it's coming out of your creativity. It is coming out of your skill. It is coming out of, it taps into you. So you automatically push into responsibility. So a lot of the times you have some friends when they say that, Friday is Friday, I put off my phone, nobody calls me. When you call me, I will not pick. I don't get anything to do with the job. They can say that, because that's the advantage that comes when you are not the final person responsible for whatever is happening there. Now, when you start that business, or when you are in business, you can put the phone off because you're at home. Especially when business is not that much staged, when it's not that much organized, when a lot of things are still depending on you, you have to pick the call. They have to get to you. And that places a lot of demand on your creativity. That places a lot of demand on your resources. That places a lot of demand on your time. And I'm saying that is also freedom, because you cannot have freedom without responsibility. So it gives you some sense of responsibility, some sense of control, and the freedom is to get results. The freedom is not for children, so to say. Freedom is for the ones who are able to take responsibility for what is good and for what is bad. So one of the advantages that business will give you, or when you start that business, is that now you are at liberty to fail or to win. So when you win, it's to a large extent, it's because of how you're able to build it. And if you're losing, you can blame somebody. It's the same thing. And freedom is the ability to accept whatever comes out of your responsibilities, out of your choices and your decisions. The results that come to you, you have to accept them. So that is what business will bring you. So now you're expressing, and it's that much fulfilling. It's that much fulfilling, where you see that you're building something. A lot of the times when business has not taken shape, because business takes time to take shape. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of energy. If you're able to succeed with that business in less than 5 years, you're a genius. Especially depending on the environment and depending on some other factors. But majority of us will not take us a year to have a very good business that is taking shape. No, a lot of us will take more than 5 years. A lot of the times is around 10 years or even more, before the business starts to take shape. Now, how many people will be able to stay with something from 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, for it to take shape? And that's where most people give up. So if you have not been at it for 5 years, if you have not been at it for 7 years, for 10 years, and that's where it separates those who win from those who lose. Most people will start 1 year, 2 years, and they just give up because they think that the success must come that quickly. Maybe, I don't know, maybe with internet, maybe with a lot of these digital businesses, maybe they get results, I don't know. But for most of us, it will take a lot of time for us to get the business to work. And that calls for a lot of determination, a lot of perseverance, a lot of resilience, a lot of energy, a lot of focus. And that is, for me, if you are not free in mind, if you are not free with your philosophy, with your principles, it will be very difficult for you to continue to be as something that a lot of the times even show like it's not working. That's something about business success and business growth and businesses when they take shape. A lot of the times they seem like you're failing because there's so much pressure. And yet in the same pressure, there is movement. In the same difficulties, there is growth. In the same movement, in the same condition, you are still becoming better and you're growing. And most people think that for you to get growth, for you to get success, for you to get, it has to come peacefully and calmly, and they have to come at your terms and your condition. And that's why most people give up. Why? Because they are not really free in terms of the understanding in what it takes to build a business, or what it takes to build anything, or what it takes to bring your ideas into fruition. So I'm saying that business gives you that sense of freedom, and we seem to have the opportunity to express ourselves, because your business technically is an extension of your personality, of who you are, of what you stand for. The logo, the colors that you have chosen for the business, the name that you chose, everything that connects with the business is actually an expression of your personality, your philosophy. Even the people that you get to employ, there are things that you have that you extend to people. So what probably you employ, the person that you probably employ, and what you are using to pick whoever you employ may be so much different from what another person will use. Why? Because it's an extension of your philosophy, of what you stand for, of what you know, of your exposure, of your experiences, the things that you have been through, the decisions and the choices that we make. So the business is something like that. It's a child that you have given birth to, and when you give birth to a child, it takes time for them to grow, and for them to be at a stage where they can take care of themselves. And that's what you're trying to do. And I say that if you're not mature and you give birth to a child, it's likely that you run away from your responsibility, and then the child will have difficulty or probably not even survive. So it's freedom. You cannot take responsibilities when you don't understand freedom. And this freedom, I'm saying, comes from that, and that is an advantage. That is an advantage that you have, because not many people live in this life with that sense of fulfillment. Not many people live in this life with that sense of purpose, to say that this is what. So you can look back and say that for the last 5 years of my life, that's why you can see somebody who gets frustrated because they look back and 10 years is gone, 5 years is gone, and they can't they can't pinpoint what they have been able to do with their own life. And that's what some people will get into depression. Why? Because they are trying to connect with where did the time go? What happened? That's why some people wake up one day and say that I don't want to be with you anymore. And why? Because they look back and they cannot see what they use the time to do. So the last 5 years, business gives you that opportunity to. If you win, if you succeed, you can look back and say that for the last 5 years, for the last 10 years, I was able to push a lot of hours into this. And now this is where the business is. I have a business that is making 10,000 every month. I have a business that has employed 20 people. I have a business that these are the things that have come out of the time that I invested in this business for the last 5 years, for the last 10 years. You could have that. And anybody who can look back and track what they have used their time to produce, a lot of the times have that sense of fulfillment. And I'm saying that that's what business gives. So business has that opportunity to give you that. So today I'm talking about 3 advantages that you get when you build business, or when you start to build business. And I'm saying that a lot of us have been conditioned to just think in terms of job. Most of us think in terms of job. Look at the number of classmates that you have, your friends. How many of them have just said that I want to build business? A lot of the times you will not get 5% of any class who will go right from the beginning to say that I want to go and build businesses, because we've not been taught like that. We've not been conditioned like that. That's why you can still have some of your mates at home waiting for job, waiting for somebody to employ them. After 5 years, they are still hoping that somebody will give them a job. Why? Because the other option of trying to start something seems very far, very risky, very lonely, and on maybe it's not within, it's far from being rich. Why? Because of the information that we've had on what it takes to build business. I think that business building is tough, as they say, but I also think that they have really put a lot of fear in us, so that we will continue, to take jobs. And there is nothing wrong with taking job. I'm just saying that advantages of building business, this is part of it. So you have that sense of freedom. The next one that I would want to talk about will be you will have access to help and shape some people and shape lives and influence others. Sometimes if your business is successful, you have the opportunity to work with people that you can share and influence, not just the salary, but the ideas. There are people that come under your influence, and the only way that they came to connect with you is because you have this business that you built, that you're able to employ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, or that supplier will depend on you because you're able to put that business together. A lot of people will also depend on those families because of the business that you have been able to build. The products that you're offering, they influence people. They add value to people. They make people's life better. Those things, you have that advantage because you put that business together. And that is a good advantage. That is a good advantage, where you have the opportunity to influence another person's life. And that comes out of business. So somebody has employed 30,000 people. When they make wrong decisions at the top, at least 30,000 people's life will be altered, will be changed, will be in a different state. Why? Because somebody at the top heading this organization that has employed 30,000 people messed up. And not only the 30,000 people, the people who also depend on the 30,000 people. So when you employ one person, it's likely that about 5 to 10 people are indirectly affected by the fact that you employ that person. And when people have jobs, they become hopeful as well. When you don't have you ever met somebody who is looking for a job and they've not been able to find that, or somebody who have been fired from the job? You see how they become, sometimes they're not happy at all. Sometimes they don't know how they're going to pay the rent or pay the mortgage or take care of the school fees, just because they lost the job. So it's not just job that people go to. This is sometimes life for most people, and when people are engaged on their jobs, it helps them to kind of connect with life and connect with life well. So this business will give you access to influence some people. It could be 1, it could be 2, sometimes even just influence yourself, and that is gratifying. So that is it. It prepares you to have influence on society. And if you're able to build big business, you seem to get some kind of audience and some kind of influence in the bigger society. There are a lot of business people that we hear in our country. We get to hear their wisdom. We get to hear what they have to say, their decisions and choices, all because they put that business together. If they didn't own that business, they would not have any business trying to advise or being given audience to the people who have power in any country. So you go to most countries, you see that these are big business people and they have influence. Why? Because of the business that they built. So the business that you're building, if you're an entrepreneur and you are at a stage in your life that you're very much unhappy and you're feeling like giving up, these are some of the things that you can put in your head, because if you're successful, it's so likely that you will get some of these things in a certain measure. And these are the things that would have to keep you going. Why most people give up in life, why most people don't succeed, is because they give up. It's not because the journey is so difficult, maybe, but a lot of us give up on our dreams. A lot of us give up on our businesses, and that's why we don't become successful. If you stay enough and you continue to be flexible and learn and change the method and apply, maybe it will work. And a lot of the times they work. So some of the things that you can use to encourage yourself until you start to see the success that you're looking for is that if you're able to stay with the heat and you don't quit, you will have influence in a bigger measure, more than what you're seeing now. More than what you're seeing now. So business has that, and that, for me, that's a great advantage for you to be in a position to influence another person's life, especially for good. Especially for good. Yes, I know one. Yes. So just join Hope to receive wisdom. Yes. So we are talking of the first one is that we said that it gives you freedom. It gives you freedom. Most people don't have what they're living for. And I think for me, I happen to just start something. I was not sure whether it will work or not, and we stay with a lot of difficulties and pressure and problems right from day one for years. The only reason what we're still hanging around is that we hope that things will be okay. So just that ability to just finding a way to make sure that you don't just give up like that, for me, is how you become successful in this life. That is how you become successful in this life. So, and I think entrepreneurship, business, is one of the greatest tools that we can use to develop our continent, to develop our people, and to give a lot of opportunities to our people. A lot of the times, see, if you go to any country and only foreigners own businesses, and it's dangerous. Only foreigners. If only foreigners. So when you go to any country, and like, for instance, Africa is Ghana, the reason, if I employ somebody, a Ghanaian, I'll be able to treat that Ghanaian well, because that's what I stand for. Maybe I may not be able to pay them a lot of money because maybe the business is not big, but I'm able to pay them according to what is well, and I'll be able to treat them with respect, talk to them well. And that's how we take charge of the prosperity of our continent, of our country. Now, if we stay out of the businesses and we just only look for multinationals and all these big positions and all these organizations owned by foreigners, what it means, especially, not our own people, what it means is that then they will treat our people anyhow. So that's why the Chinese man will build a business and talk to the people anyhow. And you are there, you can't do anything because you don't have a business that you can easily say, they should come and work with you. And people are looking for a place to work, to get a living, to earn some money and to take care of themselves. So I think beyond the politics, beyond all the other things that we talk about, the greatest enlightenment that we have to bring to our people is that we will be able to take charge of our prosperity and be in charge of our economy when a lot of our people own these businesses. Thank you, Regiga. Thank you. A lot of our people own these businesses. That's how you keep the prosperity. It can be that the people who control money just be politicians. It's wrong, because when you join politics, you don't have to have money to join politics, and you don't have to get money out of politics. So when you become rich out of politics, you all know what it is. So the only way that is, for me, the only way that you create a lot of wealth out of nothing is when you create economic value for people, when you bring economic solutions, when you build businesses. So when our people start businesses, they must have the strength, the stability, and the right outlook to stay with the processes for the business to become successful. So if we don't explain, and those of us who have tried a little, trying to build something out of nothing, out of nothing, out of no exposure, out of no network, out of no money, you just have a dream and you're building a business. I'm saying that it will take a lot of time. But you have to look at the advantages, and one of the advantages is that you get to have influence on people. You can shape them. There are a lot of philosophies that we've been teaching all the people who have come to work with us, those who are still with us, those who have moved on with their lives. We've had great opportunities influencing minds, people, sharing it with them, whether they agree or they don't agree. If they are good principles, and you share with them consistently and continually. When they are not even with you, they go somewhere. Some of them will apply those principles in their personal life. Some of them will go and build businesses. Some of them will go and become employees somewhere. They will change lives. Why? Because they got in contact with you and you were able to influence them positively. So that's how it is. And I'm saying that if we don't focus on these things and get a lot of our people to own businesses and control economy, we will always be at the bottom. If we don't do that, we will always be at the bottom. It's not just about being employed. It's about building businesses, and we have to get our people to be in the construction, to be in the real estate business, to be in the finance companies, to be in pharmaceuticals, education, agriculture, factories, processing, manufacturing. We have to do that. We cannot wait for people to come and do that for us. If you go to any country that only foreigners are in charge of manufacturing and processes and the banking and the retail and all this, it means that the country people, they are not in charge. And a lot of the times they are not in charge. You must be in charge of the businesses and the economy. So what is an economy? Economy is where people are taking care of their own money. So if somebody is in charge of the money, you don't have an economy. You don't have an economy. When you own society, you don't own the things that are in your neighborhood. You're not the ones building businesses to employ your own people. Then you cannot be complaining. That's why I am not for this. A lot of the times I'm not for this social, what is their name? CSO, civil society organizations who are just talking. A lot of our best brains are just forming organizations that are not creating any value apart from just talking. They wait for somebody to come and start something, and then they go there on TV and talking how they should employ their people and treat them well. What prevents you from also starting something to employ one person, 2, 3, 4, and show the example, so that when another person comes, they will look at how you're treating the people. They will have no other option but to treat them well, because you are also setting a good example. But all of you just, you're just policymakers. And we just join politics and be talking. Why? Because we have left the business for others, and we think that that's how we create prosperity. No, prosperity in any country comes from those who are innovating, those who are building businesses, conglomerates, empires, those who are controlling the money, creating value. I'm not talking of those who are stealing money. I'm talking of those who are controlling. A lot of the times, if you see somebody who has employed 10,000 people, it's so likely that that person is highly wealthy. If you see somebody who has employed 10,000, 20,000 people, that person is highly wealthy, and it's true. But sometimes you see people who are trying to tell us that they are rich, and you can't find one employee, one person that they've employed. But we stay somewhere and say that that person is very rich. How is he rich? How is he creating the money? Where is the source of the money? He has no employee. He's just showing the cars and the houses, and you see the ordinary average person on the street will say that this man has a lot of money. Where is the source of the money? The best way to see somebody's source of money is employment, is the businesses that they have built. That is the best way. You can see, you can go to his factory, you can go to his organization, and he's employed 1,000 people there. He has employed 200 people there. You can easily say that at least this, I can see this. Therefore, He's creating an economic value. And once he's creating economic value, we must compensate him. That's how society rewards. And for me, if a society is indeed productive and ethical, those who control money are those who are creating economic value and jobs, So if we want that, and I'm saying that business, when you build business, it gives you access to influence people, and to shape minds and to influence not just their minds, and sometimes even their prosperity as well. So my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about 3 advantages that you seem to get if you build a business. You should produce a lot of business people. We must do this deliberately. A lot of our school, that is the greatest disadvantage. By the time you finish the school, you just want to be employed. And that's the fact. The people that become middle class, they are the most dangerous element that we have now. They only live for themselves. They are only attracted to salary. And when you see them, they have moved from 1 job to 20 jobs. And they're always talking about salary and their car and their houses. We need people to create economic value. Our gold, our diamond, our cocoa, our timber, our resources, the young men and women, we must create opportunities for them. And we cannot wait for only government. I'm saying that if you do that, you can change a lot of lives. So the next one that I want to talk about is that when you build business, you have a fair chance, the possibility of you becoming rich and you becoming wealthy. You're becoming rich and becoming wealthy. If you build business and you continue at it and you don't quit, you don't give up. By the time that you are in 10th year, 20th year, 30th year of that business, if you are intentional and structural, and if you are systemic about that business and you are very focused, and you are committed to growth and increase, you will be wealthy. You will be rich. You'll be far richer than what people would think. A lot of the times, people in any small business, the kind of money that comes with that business is nowhere close to a lot of the times what people want to tell us about in terms of salary, and things like that. Most employees have no idea what business owners are able to see in terms of money. Most, and that's why we have to bring it. This consciousness, we have to bring it to our people. That if somebody plays for some of these big, like the way he plays for Chelsea or he plays for some of these European football teams, and the way they want to tell us that these boys who play for these teams are rich. Maybe they are, but what they seem to be silent about a lot of the time is the owner, the one who owns the team. How much do you think he owns? He has. So we have to shift the mind of the people, not just play, but to own the team. To own the team, because our people are so settled with the drama and with the fanfare and with the TV, the visibility, that they shift our mind from the resource of the wealth, which is the ownership. So and a lot of these things are promoted by the people in the middle class. The other, of course, is an expert. If you're looking for business plan, I will say that just sit down. If it's your first business, just buy an exercise book or type the notebook on your phone. Just type about 5 points, 3 points that you think your business is about, and hit the ground gradually. If you are not that skilled, no matter how fanciful your business plan is, when you hit the ground, the people will tell you, the customers will tell you whether that is a good plan or not. So you can have a very strong business plan when you don't even understand your customers. So really, you have to get the feedback from the ground. So you can just write some of the goals and things like that, especially if you are not looking for money from somebody to put it in the business. And nobody will put, a lot of the times, nobody will even put money in your business when they don't see you making any, when the business has not been tested, when the product has not been tried. So if you're like me, I'm unskilled, unexposed, no money, nothing, then I would say that just write some few goals down. You can print them if you want to keep them, and write especially just the goals and get the product write about the people that you think are going to help you to build a business, and do some bit of financials as to how much you need to run the business for a month or 2 or 3 or 4. But you will get a real feedback when you hit the ground, because the business is no good when the people are not buying your service. It's no business. So what you're looking for is, where is the market that needs this business that I have, the product or the service? And for me, that will be able to inform you. After you have done it for a year or 2, you can sit back and draw a very fantastic business plan, give it to the experts. But if you have not tried anything, you give it to the experts, they don't mean anything, because they are writing it with their English. There's no input from you. You will not relate with it, because the exercise that you go through writing something down, for me, that's where the magic is. So it's not so much you giving it to somebody. So the third plan that I was talking about is that it gives you there is a possibility that you become wealthy. If you look around the world, the people who control wealth, apart from the kings and the queens that we have around, anybody who has been able to create any wealth, one generation, they have been people who built businesses. So it's so likely that the business that you build, if you don't give up, and if that business fails, you build another one. If you have a successful business, you have money, you have wealth. What somebody will use 1 month to accumulate money to buy, you will use a second or 2 to get it. And that's a fact. If it's not absolute, but a lot of the times, if you put 100 business owners there and you put 100 people who don't own business, it's so likely that you get a lot of the business owners with a lot of wealth, with a lot of money, with a lot of wealth. And the others may not. You have 1 or 2, but majority of the people who control any wealth will be people who are building businesses, who own businesses, and who have been able to multiply the money that the businesses produce. So there is that opportunity for you to create wealth. And that's why, for me, you can't say that I want to become very rich and then you join the police service. No, you join the police service for a particular reason. You want to protect your country. That's an honorable reason that you join something. Or I joined politics to become rich. No, you don't join politics to become rich. You join politics so that you can have power to help your people. Money is not part of it. If you become rich out of politics, we all know what it is. So there are a lot of professions, especially the professions that they are given out from the school, where out of the school you come to work for the government. The reason is not for you to become rich. You will get some kind of money to live, like decent house, decent car. You will not be poor, absolutely, but you will not be wealthy, and you have to have that kind of understanding so that you don't become a thief. For me, if somebody works with the IRS and he has 5 houses, that is obvious that that person is a thief. If you work with a government organization and you have a lot of money, you have compromised your ethics. That's it, because that's not where wealth is. Wealth is in taking risk with business. And that's how wealth is. Any other place that you have a lot of wealth, there are a lot of things that are going on there. And those are basic facts, So if somebody spends 20 years of your life to build 1,000-acre cocoa farm, you don't expect that person to be poor. That person has created value. He's built a huge cocoa farm. That person must be compensated for that. And that's why nature compensates us, That's how nature compensates us. If somebody spends his life to build a business that employs 1,000 people, you don't expect that person to be poor. No. And you don't expect that person not to have the next generation after him have money. That's not how it is, because he took the risk. He actually spent his life to build this business. And now that business would have to give that person some bit of richness, riches and wealth. So business will have that opportunity to give you that. So if you want people to become very rich, all of us, very few of us will become very popular in terms of music. Maybe I'm a singer or an actor. One actor that you see, there are 1,001 of them who were not successful. If you see one great musician, there are 1,001 musicians who were never successful. If you see one great footballer, sportsman, there are 1,001 of them who didn't become successful. The same with business. if you see one of us. But the thing about business is that a lot of us can easily try business. You don't need any qualification to start business. For you to become a doctor, an engineer, you have to go to university. You have to do a lot of tests, that to become a qualified professional engineer. Or to become a lawyer, you have to go through school. It's segregated. It's gated. They keep gateways there. They will not allow a lot of us to join it. But business, nobody can prevent you from building a business and starting one. Whether you have school or you don't have school, it's a very level, playing field. Anybody at all can start something. It's just tough. You meet a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, but I've never heard that you have to bring your certificate before you start a business, or you are a woman, so you can't start a business, or you are a child, or you are a man, so you can't start a business, or maybe you are even a black person, so you can't start a business, or you're this, you can't start a business. I think most countries, there are not much controls in terms of you starting a business. What they may control is maybe access to funds, access to markets, and regulators are coming. But a lot of us are not prevented from starting business. So for me, that was the thing that attracted me. That you don't need to write exam to start a business, or you don't need to go and do this kind of interview to start a business. You just start something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you try another one. And for me, business has that chance to make you wealthy, and it is true. It is true. It has the chance to also make you poor and get you into a lot of financial difficulties. But if you don't quit at that stage, you will still have the opportunity to build wealth. And that is true. So a lot of the times, our mistakes will culminate into loans and debt and things like that. Our mistakes will be I mean, if you employ people that you didn't need to employ, you employ a lot of people, you didn't need to employ them. Maybe you needed just 5 people, you employ 20. Now you would have to pay all of them salary. If a business is not doing well and you're paying them those salaries, obviously you may have to borrow to pay those salaries until you sack them or you fire them. That becomes a problem for you. So business decisions can easily shift and turn you into bad situations. And if you are the founder, once you are the owner, you are the person that somebody said that if you want to find a leader, you will see it when there is trouble. You go to any place and you want to find a leader who is responsible. When there is trouble, they will easily show you quickly. They will show you, this is the guy who told us to go and do this. So when there is a mess in the business, everybody can move on. The owner, you cannot. They will find you. And that's why, just as when there is a mess, they will find you. When there is booty, when there is reward, they should find you there. You should be the one to share it, because when there were troubles, everybody would say that, yeah, you told us to go and do that. But when there is benefit, then a large chunk of it must also come to you. So business will give you the opportunity to start, to become wealthy. And that's what I think we should tell our children, that if you want you to become wealthy, then you must build businesses with your creativity, with innovation, because look at the Chinese who come here. Look at all these guys who have come here. They're building all these organizations. What are they using? It's business. When they come here, they don't come to play football. They don't come here to become doctors and lawyers. They come to look for money. And what do they set up? Business. But when our people go where we are looking for only jobs. And I think we have to be told that that is not the way to create wealth and to fight poverty. To create abundance of wealth, we must have a lot of our people in all kinds of businesses. We must have them, and we must have them in charge. We must, or we will be at the bottom. Our people should be in charge of businesses everywhere, and that's why we create prosperity. So business will give us the opportunity to create prosperity. So if you stay with that business for a while, you'll see. So your friend who has started business, don't laugh at him. Even if he's faced, don't laugh at him. If he doesn't quit on himself and on his dream, in 10 years, in 20 years, that friend that you see, if he's that open-minded, he will succeed, and he will succeed hugely. And that's why, and so if you have a son, if you have a daughter, and they complete school, push them to go and start something. Because we need a lot of our people to become millionaires and billionaires. Sometimes I look at this list that they push around. Of course, they have their own fidgetings around those, but we want to see Africans, blacks, own businesses. We can't talk of prosperity when our people are only looking for UN jobs. They're looking for UN jobs, multinational jobs. No, that's not it. They look for those jobs so that they can go and train. But we have to push ownership in your mind. So what I teach my children is, yes, go to school, become the best as you can, but think of ownership. You have to be an owner. I really don't care what they become in terms of profession. What I care about is that they don't have to be poor. They have to be worthy. And therefore, there are the tools that they need to be worthy. You teach them. And part of it is what? Is ownership. Part of it is what? Is building businesses, taking risk. If they express their interest, even if they don't build business, they can have investments that control wealth. So don't push them to just be addicted to these categories that they have pushed on us, middle class, lower middle class, and upper middle class, those things. They just bracket them. They barricade them. You cannot go beyond that if they have to pay. But if you teach them how to build wealth and grow it, then nobody can control them. And it comes out of training, out of exposure. So we have taught a lot of our people to only be interested in become a lawyer, become a judge, become a doctor, become an accountant, become a police officer. That's all that we are pushing on them. No, I say that become worthy. Become worthy, so that when they are selling that banks, you can buy them. When they are selling those chain of shops, you can buy them. You be the ones owning and controlling the wealth. You have to be the head, not the tail. On your own land, and even go beyond the shores. And this is the mindset that we have to give our people. It cannot be that our people are only attracted to salary. It's only that salary. And when they even get the salary, they don't know how to multiply the salary. So we are always being controlled. The only way that a lot of us will have money is because they give us credit. They give us credit to go to school. They give us credit to buy a house. They give us credit to buy a car, especially those who live in the West. They give us credit to buy everything. We don't have anything. It can't be right like that. We have to teach our people to be worthy. We have to. And that comes out of business ownership. And it doesn't matter how they start. The wisdom will come as they grow. And if you have 1,000 of them to start, and we get after 20 years, we get 10 of them. We don't know. A lot of them will become wealthy, millionaires and billionaires. And that comes out of, but when they start, it will be ugly. It will not be nice. And that's the fact of life. It will not be nice. It will not be nice. But with time, with training, they will become informed. So yes, those who, it's all conditioning. If you continue to push them to become doctors, engineers, we will have problem. Those who are in charge of the businesses will control the economy. And then we only produce lawyers and doctors and engineers and accountants, and what are they doing? They don't control anything. Those who have money will control the president. The president does not control them. They control him, because they will tell you, if you don't listen to us, we will move the money, and they will move it. So those who, if you want to have a say, teach the children to go where the money is. Don't tell us it's Wedley. It's not Wedley. It's not Wedley. We have to know where the power is. And that's where power is, where the money is. So my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about some of the advantages that we seem to get if you build businesses. So when you start and there's trouble, don't quit. When you start, and don't laugh at them. When your son wants to start a business, don't laugh at him. When your daughter, this kind of thing is the reason why Ghana was the first to win their independence from colonial rule. Oh, okay. Right. So go for ownership. Go for ownership. When your son starts, when they finish school, don't tell them, go and look for a job. No, let him be hungry. Build something. Let him stay somewhere and build. Let him stay somewhere. He's in his room, he's not eating. Teach him, my son, you finished this school. I expect you to become worthy. Thank you. Thank you. I will expect you to become worthy. Don't run away. Stay with the process. You learn. You went to school to get skill, to read, to write, to do mathematics. Now, with that, go and build something. Identify a place that you want to and develop. And with time, I've seen friends who just start business. It looks like nothing is working. 5 years, nothing is working. 8 years, nothing. Then 10th year, 11th year, 12th year, this guy has become giant. He's employing people. His finances have changed. Why? Because that's how you create wealth. That's how you create wealth. So we have to push our people. We should not be happy with increment in salary. And no. We should not be. Sometimes when I see them celebrate some of these, this person has been employed by this multinational, I'm like, no. We have had enough of those. Good, enough of those. Now we want people to own those multinationals. To own the communication companies, to own the banks, to own the engineering firms, to own the real estate companies, to own the multinational. We want our people to be the owners, not always looking for job, and that's what I'm talking about. Advantages, some of the advantages that you get when you build a business. So when you have a son, teach him. We cannot be, especially Africans and blacks all over. We should not be happy with just a little. Listen, you can jump from poverty to wealth. You may not have anything, but when it's a building, because it's a skill that you're building. Once you start something. I remember when we started to do business, why was it? We're just trying to trade something. But there were so many things that we didn't know. Registering the business, because started young. Registering the business, going to the tax office to do all those. Some of the terms that they were using, that's something about education that I don't get. You go to read engineering, you never hear a lot of the things that when you come to build business, you meet. You never hear. I don't know who separated them. You never hear of pay as you go tax, corporate tax and all those taxes that you don't hear them. You have no clue. So they designed these programs such that when you come out, you only go to look for a job. And that is so true. How many doctors know anything about taxes and money? They have no idea. If they get to know anything about it, it's because they read it beyond the course, outside the course. Or maybe the family member owns a business and they were involved. A typical medical student knows nothing about money. No idea what taxes are. No idea what is debt. No idea interest rate. No idea. Their eyes have not been trained to see wealth. And I'm saying that over 90% of the courses that are in our universities, your eyes, you will never see wealth. Those who know gold, they train them. When they see gold, they will tell you, these are the processes that you go through to pick gold. It's training. The same with money. It's training. But by the time you finish school, you have no idea what money is. All that you can see is that let me go and look for a job. And then when you get salary, you buy a car. Then you get some loan to buy a house. You have some wedding somewhere. And then you think that you're successful. You're not successful because the wealth is there. They just condition you that you this is little. So my cousin told me, oh, no, I don't want much. I just want very little. I said, you're very selfish. You want little. Why do you want little? You can help many people if you have little. You can't even help yourself. So for the sake of those that we must change and influence and help, we must get more. And we must have that mind to look for more. And to be in charge. You can't go to Nigeria and those who are in charge of Nigerian economy are foreigners. It's not right. You go to South Africa, you go to Kenya, you go to Namibia, you go to Togo, Benin. No, it's not right. They have to come and meet giants. They have to come and meet Africans who are in charge of the economy. And that's what we have to do to empower people so that they will be the ones build the businesses and sometimes even change the course content in our universities. So that when you finish school, it will not be like you are late because you want to start to build a business. But it will be that, yes, those who are building something, because we need a lot of our people to build that, to control the wealth. Forget about what they have put in a lot of these business schools. A lot of the data, they didn't pick on us. The data does not include Ghana or Africa. The data is for them. So all the things that they have gathered out of the data is not for us. Us, the wealth is here. We must be the ones in charge in building this. And we must give opportunities, help our people to wake up and to see that the wealth is for you and your children and the next generation. Don't let another man come and build and you are going to look for a job. No, don't let somebody come from China to come and build and you go and beg him to give you a job. What are you doing? Ourselves. What are we doing ourselves? So it can be one business. It can be you have employed yourself. That's a great achievement. You have employed 2 people. That's a great achievement. You have employed 1,000 people. That's a great achievement. You become an example that all of us can look up to and be inspired. Then we can see a lot of people with ownership mindset. We want that. We want that. So my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about some of the advantages that you gain when you start to build a business. There are advantages. So in spite of all the troubles, and the troubles are there, when you start business, that's everywhere, no matter which business that you start, even the online businesses or the guitar businesses that you see, there are things that you have to go through. A lot of the times, you yourself, you don't even understand, and nobody understands you. It's okay, but don't quit. Don't give up. Continue, because that's the way to prosperity. Somebody will buy a car the next day because they have a nice job with a nice pay. Maybe it will take you 5 years to buy a car. But when you start to buy, you can buy 10 at a time. And they probably could not even buy, will not be able to buy 2 in 10 years. It takes a lot of pressure. You're compressing a lot of things within time. You are bringing something that will take 100 years, and you are trying to do it in 10 years, in 5 years. There's a lot that you're compressing. You're going to take a lot of heat, a lot of difficulties will come, but that's how it is. So we need to condition the people that we need you to be here, to be the ones in charge of our economy, of our businesses. Go and build a processing plant, to go and build a manufacturing plant, go and build a mining company, go and build a real estate development company, go and build a retail shop, go and build something, build a fashion line and start. And it doesn't matter how you start, and we all start with 0 anyway. And it doesn't matter how many constraints that they put there. We need our people to be the ones in charge. And if they sack you, go 10 back, 10, go. They sack you, say go, no problem, go. But 10 and come and fight again until you succeed. And it doesn't matter who the enemy is. Sometimes the enemy can be from your own people, and sometimes the enemy can be from other people. But no matter the enemy and whoever they are, fight until you are in charge of something. Fight until you're in charge of something. So 3 advantages, and I want to go over them again. And I start to say that when you build business, there's this sense of freedom that you get. You feel like you're in charge of something, in charge of your life. You feel like that. So a lot of us never get sure as to what our life is about. One of the things that you seem to get, I don't know where it comes from, that feeling that now I'm trying to build something with my life. I'm doing something meaningful with my life. When you start to build business, that thing comes to you. It comes to you. Now you can see that the creativity, your mind is working 24 hours. Now you can see you're building something. You can pick. Now you look back and say, this idea came, and your mind is always working. And that puts your life to a very purposeful use. It puts your life to a very purposeful use. And that gives you some sense of meaning. At the moment you get some sense of meaning out of life, there is freedom. You see that this life is expressing, it's becoming something. Even when the business is failing, you still feel that like that. It's like, no, I tried something. I was able to take risk. Courage is expressing that, because you cannot take risk if you're not courageous. That's a fact of life. Everybody around you is telling you, Master, you are going to fail. But you don't seem to hear it. Why? Because you're consumed with the vision that you have. And that, for me, is where freedom is. It's that sense of responsibility that you want to take charge of your own life and do something. So if they have fired you from the job, don't worry. What can you start? What do you have that you can start with? What do you think you have that people will pay you for? You never know. Start to read about it, search, read, get information on it, and try something. It all starts like that. Everybody starts like that. And by the time you see it, it has become something. Nobody really has a right definition, for how to start something, because it's not. They are not you. You are unique. Other person is unique. So that idea that has come to you, start it. Never feel like you are disadvantaged. You can always start something from where you are. You don't need a degree to start a business. You don't need anybody to be with you to start a business. You can just start something. And when you start, it doesn't make, don't cry. Fight again. Start another one. There is a psyche that you must have. there's a psyche that you must have. There's a psyche that you must have, that you never quit and you never give up. And nobody owes you anything. You want to fight and create something for yourself and create something for the next generation. And that responsibility is ours. So never sit back and cry. If it's water that you can sell to people around the corners, try to do it. If it's matches that you can sell, whatever that people will buy, it always starts like that. When you have something, you may not even have anything. Your friend is selling something, somebody also wants it. Pick it, go and give it to them. That's how you start. And start a business shifts your mind from just feeling like a victim into feeling like a victor. Starting business gives you that sense easily. Now you don't feel like you're disadvantaged. Now you feel like you are in charge. I can tell you that. Ask anybody who has started business, they tell you that. There's that sense. And you should never be overwhelmed with the difficulties and the problems, the truth. Okay, so nice that you did a live spreading the knowledge. Thank you very much. So we have to do that. We have to wake people up to tell them that you're not disadvantaged. You can always do something. And that is where real freedom is. Real freedom is the ideas that you have that you can put to use that will benefit other people. And, if they pay you for it, nothing like it. So business will give you this chance to express yourself, to express your gift. And all of us are gifted. All of us have something. The Creator put those things in us. And there's no other best place to express that than when you put them to work. Where you put them to work and you trade with it. You do business with it. So learn about it. Learn about it. Don't say that I can do it. Nobody feels like they can do it in the first place, but you can do it if you start. Because the energy that you generate it comes out of the doing. Once you start, the energy, it's like dynamite. The energy will start to come when you start to do it. When you have not started it, its potential is there. But you will shock yourself. You will shock yourself if you start to do it. And that's so true. Sometimes you are not even sure whether you are the one person, the same person who is doing this. Where is this energy coming from? Where is this creativity coming from? Where is all this expertise coming from? You may even doubt yourself. Why? Because once you start it connects with divinity. Source. So it's in all of us. So never feel like that. Never feel like a victim. It brings you, and that's where and that's where I'm saying freedom is. So business, when you build that, you get a chance to express, your godness if you want. Your godness if you want. So my name is Kwabena. The next one, that's it. So it gives you freedom to express yourself, to live your dreams, to have that sense of purpose. And business has that. And I'm saying that you don't need degrees to start that. You don't need any qualification. You can just wake up tomorrow and say that I want to do something. Then you start to think. And the internet has made it even easier, where now you can just put anything, just create something and put something there and see how many people will call you for it. Set something, and that's how it starts. And start to grow and read it. Don't tell us that nobody in your family has done business. There's many things that nobody in your family has done. So you can be the first one to start something. So there are a lot of, don't entertain ideas that will make you weak and crippled. No. Entertain ideas that will bring the strength, in you. So the next one that I talk about is that it gives you the opportunity to influence others. Business will give you the opportunity because you're learning something. Now you become an expert in something. Whatever that I'm sharing here, if I didn't start business and failed and succeed, I failed and succeed, what is the English word? You fail and you succeed, you fail. Now you get to have some little understanding of how some things are done. And now you can share with somebody, and there's nothing like it. It's where you can share with somebody, So and then you the people who work with you, you get the chance to share with them your philosophy, your understanding of life. You get the chance to even give people salary. Nothing like that. It's gratifying, and that one will make sure that you don't give up, because then you look back and see people who you need to do something to help, and that is what real fulfillment is. A lot of the times, the business success is not even in the cars that you're able to buy, the houses that you're able to build. No, the fact that you're able to give employment to people, and you go there and they're working, and somebody gave you a contract and you're able to solve it for that person. Somebody gave you a job and you're able to solve it. That alone gives you so much fulfillment and influence as well. So for me, that's a great thing that comes out of business. It's a great thing that comes out of business, that you have the opportunity to influence and to share. So where sometimes you have access to even help people, pay school fees, pay some people's rent, buy some things for people, just because you're able to build this business. That's why you have that opportunity to be some kind of, motivation or light or help to some people. So business gives you that. So business gives you that. And I said that the third one, I said that the possibility that you become rich is there. It is there. They say that a lot of business people don't succeed. That's true. We don't doubt that. That's why they have to do more. If you start one and it doesn't succeed, start another one, because the likelihood that you will not succeed is very high. It's okay. So start another. Keep fighting. If you were looking for a job and you didn't find, why would you give up? No, you will still go and look for a job. So the same with business. If you start one, it doesn't work, it's painful. You may find yourself in debt and all kind of trouble. Yes, it's not unique with you. It's not unique with me. It's with everybody. Go and fight another one, because that is the path. The gold is at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes you may be finding at the beginning of the tunnel. Sometimes you may be finding gold right in the middle. So that's worth it. So don't think that if a lot of these guys come to Ghana, to Africa, they start businesses. They don't come to look for a job. They start businesses. And by the time you see it, they're here 10 years now. They have built a lot of things. They came with nothing. Now they have built and they have employed hundreds and thousands of people, but they came with nothing, because that's what business gives. But then they condition our people that don't start business. Go and become a doctor, lawyer, professor. That's all. And they intentionally condition us to be happy with little. Never be happy with little. You can't change the prospects of our continent. We can't fight the difficulties. We can't fight the poverty if we are very satisfied with little. So never be satisfied with little. You need to get more. Help more so you can help more. Don't let anybody condition you to say that how much are you looking for in this life. No, we are looking for more. That's why when they never finish mining the gold, why? It's there. The creator put a lot of things. Why didn't the creator put just a small thing there? It's enormous. It's big. It's huge. The same. Everything that you put in the soil for us is unlimited. And you want to just put a little, you get 10,000, you're very happy with a little. No, you're selfish. Don't be happy with little. We need you to become the worthy, so that we can look up to you. Even if you don't give us anything, your story will inspire a lot of us. Your story will inspire a lot of us to look and to become. So we need our people to fight like that. We don't need you to become the Secretary General of UN and you are giving talk. We want prosperity. Africa's problem is us creating the wealth for ourselves. And that's our problem. So we need a lot of people to think like that. Our problem is not football. Our problem is not music. We have a lot of people singing. Our problem is not producing all those. Our problem is building industries that solve our problems. Produce products that we need, and our people becoming wealthy, and after that, and creating employment. And this is, for me, this is where our major problem is. Where with the people that we are producing out of our colleges, out of universities, we tell them go and create wealth. Don't come and be looking for a job. Go and fight. If you don't succeed, let another one go and fight until we get a lot of you. If you have to experiment, we have to do that. Where we push a lot of them. Push the doctors to go and try something. Go and build hospital. Fight. Put the engineers to go and build engineering firms, production firms. Put the pharmacists to go and produce drugs. Don't condition them to come and look for a drug factory that somebody from China has come to build, and then he's the one leading it and speaking in big English to us. We want our people to be the ones in charge of our economy. And that we have to start with the thinking first. It's thinking. It's not because they cannot do it. It's not true. They can do it. All that you can only be controlled when you're ignorant. The moment you wake up and the moment our people realize that they have to be the one in charge of the wealth, that's it. You don't need to teach them. They just have to know that they have enough. They have to go for this and fight for that, and they have to be ready for any frustration that comes from anybody, because the end goal is what? Is to create the wealth. So we are ready. We're ready for whatever frustration, whatever disagreement, whatever philosophy that they teach, and they tell you that it won't work, don't worry. They tell you that nothing, no, don't worry. And so wherever the Africans are, whether it's in Jamaica, whether it's in America, teach the people to go for the wealth. Fight it. Fight till you get yours. In Africa, it's the same. Fight. It can't be right that in South Africa, the white people are the ones in charge of the wealth. No, it's wrong. History has been terrible to us. And we are the ones to correct it. It's been terrible to us. You look at the statistics of businesses that they start in America, and the wealth that they have created, they've been intentionally. Because I can tell you, all those who have been abusive in history, all those who have been, it's power they want and money. And wherever there's power and there is money, they will make sure that only their people are there. Never forget that. They will put all kind of things in training you not to go for those. They'll put all kind of policies to prevent you to go to those places. Where the power is, where the money is, they will prevent you. And they will use all kind of terms, minority, this. They will use all those terms just to prevent you from getting power and money so that you continue to serve their interests. Now that is wrong. That is wrong. Because if you don't control the wealth yourself, somebody else will control them and make the laws, and you'll be servant. Servants don't have power. Servants don't have wealth. They don't have power, they don't have wealth. The owners, they have power. They have wealth. And we have to tell our people, open your mind. School was designed to take power and wealth from the people. I'm telling you, school, as designed in terms of profession, lawyer, doctor, engineer, all those. That's why all of them are in the middle class. They're very wealthy. They're very wealthy. What is their profession? Tell me. Are they the doctors, the lawyers, the judges? They're not. They just go for money and power. Then they tell all of us to go and become this. That's why you're very angry when your child is not passing the school. Don't worry. Don't be angry with that. Tell your child, go for power and money. Go for power, money. Fight. Go for power and money, because that's where liberty is. That is where freedom is. So they will condition us. They give you some title. No problem. But open your eyes. Go for wealth. Go for wealth. Because if they tell me all the professions of all these guys, what is the level of education do they have? They don't have nothing. But when it comes to the money, they are the ones making decisions. When it comes to power, they are the ones making decisions. And they tell all of us, go to school, and we are going to school, and we are very happy, and we are clapping. Highly educated. And now that they are doing some quiz somewhere in Ghana, you see them brilliant, something. Listen, that's not what is going to make our country great. It's sports. It's academic sports, I call them. We want our people to be the ones building industries. With all the 30 years that we have produced these guys out of this quiz thing, where are they? What have they achieved? No, they are living for themselves. They have become lawyers, doctors, engineers, that's all. You don't see anything. You come here, look at the people building the industries. Where are they? That's where we want to go. But it's conditioning. Somebody will tell you to focus on the other ones so that they will take the gold. And when you bring it up, now they have trained them to master argument and tell you, oh, no, it's not like that. You're speaking English. Go for the power. Go for the money. Fight. And always understand the numbers. So they are producing my case, and no problem. But who owns the football team? I'm interested in that one. Don't tell me I am my pilot. No problem. But who owns the airline? I'm interested in the one who owns the airline, not the one who's a pilot. Oh, he's the one in charge of the biggest airplane. I don't care about that. I want to know the one who owns the airline. Is it our people? Are we the ones in charge? Then we are talking. So and that's why we're saying create businesses, build wealth, build something that your children's children can come and see that my grandfather was able to build this estate, and he was able to build this 100 houses. He was able to build this 1,000-hectare cocoa farm. You own this mining company. My grandfather was able to build this bank. We were the ones who produced this. That's how you want them to think. Don't tell us where he was the bank manager. That's all. Who owned the bank? He was not the one. We have done enough of that. Now we need to produce people who can think. Who can think. We need to produce people who will think ownership. We need that. We need that. We need to tell our people like that. So wake up. The course content is designed to produce us to be simple-minded. That's why when you meet the average professor, he's not looking at wealth and power. He's just so humble. The people are still in the gold. You will not fight. Go and fight. Because we need that. We need that. Not just for the guns. Because even when it comes to fighting, you have to buy the guns anyway. And what are you going to buy it with? So don't live for salary. The salary is a tool for you to create wealth. Learn how to turn that salary into wealth. You have to learn that yourself. Even if you are not able to build millions, you'll be able to leave something far better than you made. So study the money, study where the power is. Don't just be interested in going to work and come back and say that I'm a professor, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, and you have nothing. And your children come to suffer the same way. And you just run on debt. No, study the system. Study the system. Read about it. Study it. Study it. Tell the children, go for money. Don't just be. I don't tell my children to become doctors and lawyers. No, I tell them go and become wealthy. Prosper. That's all. If you're interested in the health sector, you can build hospitals if you have money and put doctors there. You're serving the same thing. If you're interested in yourself, I'm a very passionate teacher, no problem. You can own schools. So a very good broadcaster, no problem. Own the radio station. Build the TV station yourself. That's how we need to tell our people like that go for the money, go for the power, so that we can compete. So that when the Chinese man comes, he comes to meet people who have money. So that when they are maltreating the workers, you can start up and say, listen, if you do that, we'll fire you. We'll sack you from here. That's how. But if they don't have wealthy men and women, when they come, they will treat us like we are nothing. Because then we are very afraid. They just told us to become lawyers and doctors and engineers. And we have nothing. We have nothing. We panic. And they're able to threaten us because we run away from the money. We run away from the power. So go for that. So my name is Kwabena. Today I try to talk about 3 advantages of building business. So it's just beyond building a business to just get a job. It's a call. It's a full responsibility that will trash the next generation into wealth. Wealth creation is generational or it's intergenerational. It's easier if you leave the next generation something. It's very easy for them to also become wealthy. But if you are left nothing, the fight is not easy. So it's our responsibility to transfer the ownership to the next generation. It is our responsibility. So we have to think like that. And we have to at least be and wake up. Wake up. Especially those with degrees. Those are the most miserable. I don't have problem with the very down. I have problem with the ones that they have some kind of degree. They are the most difficult, and the unaware, they are sleeping. When it comes to money, they are looking for a job. That's all. They get a job, they buy a car, and they are the ones telling us they are successful. A car is not success. A house is not success. How many have you employed? How many feed on you? How much do you have invested? How much does it come in? That's where the wealth is. And that's what we're looking for. You're looking for people with millions. You know, I'm not talking of money that the bank gave you credit. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking of the one that your businesses, your investments are bringing in every month. You know. Yes, generational wealth and legacy. Yes, we have to do that. It can be. You know, we have to be the ones. That is not success. No, it's not. I use mortgage to buy a house and then I'm making noise. It's not. You should be the one controlling the wealth, you know, and it comes out of business. So we have to teach our people business. And when you start, it will be difficult. It will be a problem. You meet a lot of challenges. They will laugh at you. They will not agree with you. You'll be hungry. Car is not success. No, car is not part of it. It doesn't. What does it bring? Buy a Range Rover. Nothing. Car is not success. You know, the degrees that you use a lot of money to go and get, and when it comes, you don't even know what to use it for. And then they tell you to go to a place to work. You go, no, you're unhappy to go, but now you don't have money, so you have to go. No, create wealth. Look at their wealthy people. They are wealthy people. Look at them. What else did they read in the university? Read nothing. They're interested in teaching them how to keep the family wealth. That's what they teach them. So once they are telling us to go to Yale and Oxford and all those universities to go and learn this, they are teaching them how to keep the family wealth. And we are the ones they're teaching us Lamborghini is not success. No, Lamborghini is not success. A lot of them, people buy them with credit cards, with loans. We are looking for businesses. You own 10 businesses and each of them is making $1 million a month. Now we are talking. You own investment. You have big cocoa farm. You have hundreds of people working on the cocoa farm. You have a pineapple farm. You have all these big things. You know, you have a mining company. You have these big businesses all over. Then we are talking of wealth. Or any other in between is not wealth. It's not wealth. And we are looking for, and that's what businesses bring. You know, but they have taught the school people what wealth is. And then the people who control wealth itself, they know something different. And unfortunately, they have taught our people what they think wealth is. They think that if you overcome poverty, it means that you are wealthy. No, overcoming poverty is what school gives you, but it does not mean you're rich. Now you can buy food, buy a car, and get a place to sleep. That does not mean you're rich. You're not rich. And they want to tell you that, oh, be happy with it, settle with it. You can't do everything. No, you have a whole generation to fight for. So it's not only about myself. It's only not about yourself. It's about all of us fighting to create a prosperity for our continent. You know, so that when you come to Ghana, you see that the wealthy are Africans. You go to Nigeria, it's the same. You go to Zimbabwe, it's the same. You know, because that's where that's how the world plays. The world plays with money and power. Then they tell all of us, oh, it's not important. If it's not important, go to Vatican and see if they are poor. They are not poor. They are not poor. They accumulate the gold. They accumulate the wealth. Then they tell us that it's not important. Just work for a little. Be happy with the little that you have. Don't be happy with a little. No. Be content, but don't be happy. Fight for the next generation. Fight for the next generation. You know, the person has billions, but is convincing you that little is okay. Yes, all of us, we have to. Yes, don't just, not only yourself, fight for your children. Create some wealth so that we can leave it for them. And I'm saying that is in business. And that's why they have designed a school said that you never think of business, you never think of money. You go to school, that's all. When you finish, they say, oh, this job is here. They give you a big title, that's all. And you go to sleep for 30 years, you come back, you're old, they say, go home. They don't need you anymore. Now the children come and continue the same thing. And they never let you even, it doesn't even cross your mind that maybe I can build that hospital myself. Maybe I can build that school myself. Maybe I can build a business myself. Maybe I can produce those clothes myself. Then they don't put, I remember when we were doing engineering, they never put anything on money in that course. They just taught us how to create this boat and engine and pistons and this heat transfer calculation, all that they just feed you so that you become a factory, just work to feed their industry. That's all. They never taught us how to own and how to create wealth. It's intentional. And I'm sure it's the same thing with medicine, the same thing with pharmacy, the same thing with accounting, the same thing with all these courses, history, English, social science, psychology. They never put anything like that so that you create something. So you go and fight, you die. Your children will come and follow the same thing. And we all struggle. They give you some car and some house and you think that you're successful. No, but they have wealth. They have generational wealth. They have kept it for years. And we just work for salary. It's information. They kept it. And they convince us as money is not important. Money is seriously important. And build business. Once you start business, you understand the word opposite. Just start something. You understand it. Say something on your Instagram. Say something on your Facebook page. Say something. Build a website. Say something. Just say something. Whatever you can pick to start. The moment you start to trade and build something, you understand the word differently. The world that very few people will ever get to know. The world. You start to see numbers differently. The money that you had to wait for 1 month to get, now you're looking at it and you are getting it in a day. And that's how the world is programmed. It's in business. It's in business. It's in business. And you have to have a whole different psyche to do that. You have to have a whole different psyche. Sometimes somebody will meet you and say, oh, so your business, do you make any profit? Business and job, which one is better? The moment you ask like that, you don't understand though. I'm a teacher in America and you are telling the truth about what they teach in the curriculum. They get you ready for work, not entrepreneurship. Yes, because they don't want they don't want us to become wealthy. They want us to feed them. They want us to feed them. Never. They will not teach you to become anything. Erica, that's true. They never. And we also push our children the same way. We're scared. So the child has to become a doctor. After 30 years, he has nothing. He's a nice doctor, big brains, nothing. Becomes a teacher, nothing. Engineer, we are very happy. Our child is very good academically. He's not good academically if he doesn't understand money. Because the one with money will control him. We decide where he will stay, how much is paid, where he lives, where the school that the children will go to. The one with money will control the one who says that he is academically good. So if they take money out, they are giving us education to become servants. They are giving us education. No matter how brilliant a professor is, somebody decides to pay him. And they can tell you, don't come here again. Pentagon and pentagrams and theories don't build wealth. Financial education is something they never gave us. They let us be accountant to manage our wealth. Yes, they did that. The savvy entrepreneur, they did that. And we continue to do the same thing to our children. No, it has to change. So build something. Start a website, something. Start something that you can sell. Put something somewhere. Once you start to trade, you will see. You meet difficulties. Don't worry. It's part of the game. A lot of people will laugh at you. It's part of the game because you're trying to get into a level that most people are not. But with time and with consistency and training, it gets to a point you understand life differently. You see anybody who has built a business, the world is different for them. The world is different for them. I promote my students, Erica, to follow passion and think big. Honestly, discourage college to my students as the first option. This discourage to my students as a first option. No, because if you don't build wealth and you have to go and use credit to go and get degrees in courses that when you finish, you don't even know what. No, build wealth, build wealth, build wealth, build wealth. We have to tell them, go build wealth. Because that's what they are doing, but they are telling us otherwise. And then when we finish, they tell you that go and live in that village to go and become something. And sometimes you can't fight it. Why? Because that's the lifeline that you have. If you don't get it, you don't become anything. You can't pay your rent, you can't pay your school fees, you can't pay your debt because somebody is holding your source of income. How about if you understand money? How about you build businesses? How about you build your own investments? And that is in business, and that calls for different kind of information. you know. So there's a lot. There's a lot. And that's why we get so much frustrated. You know, V Cooper 50s. I'm trying to teach this to my 18-year-old now. Once you graduate college, how can you see this knowledge to start your own business? Yes, but give them books, give them websites, let them read, because that's the world. That's how it is. You see, the very top, they teach them money and power and business and investment. Then the rest of us, they teach us the science, the chemistry, the biology, the physics, the engineering, the psychology. That's what they teach the rest of us. But the very top, they teach them differently. That's why they continue to control everybody. Then they tell us that, oh, you know, it's not important. Money is not everything. Money is not everything, yet that's the only thing that you study. And then you come to tell us that once I'm a very good something, I'm okay. No, let's teach the children that, listen, get education is being able to understand numbers. That's the only education that they need. The rest, they can buy it. Once you understand numbers, you understand figures, you control your wealth, your children will not be the ones begging. You know, what's the point? Becoming a professor and your children have nothing and you have nothing. That's the point. Becoming a doctor, you practice all these years and you have nothing. And you're not happy. And the reason you're not happy is that you look at your finances and you're in bad shape. And you wonder why my finances are in bad shape. Meanwhile, you're very intelligent. But your intelligence was devoid of finance. You know, so I'm preparing to repatriate to Africa because I'm tired of being owned. Now that I know better, I'm coming to invest, connect, build community. Yes, build wealth, build community, invest. You can get a whole big land and do something commercial on it and give yourself 5 years. You'll be shocked. You look back and say, I've been able to build this. And that's how life is, you know. And that's why we decided. We decided to stay. We decided to build. It's rough. It's misunderstood. It's tough, but it's doable. That's all. Yes, investing and saving. That is what we have been studying all year. We will start our first business soon. Yes, please do. V Cooper 52. Yes, that's it. Because that's how you control the word for the community. That's why you control the word for the generations. They will tell you, no. They will continue to put all these things around us. By the time you wake up, you are into retirement and you have nothing. And yet we have all these degrees. And they have no degree. And yet they control the word. That's the side of me I don't get. That's the side I don't get. So I try to teach my children, yes, become the best in whatever you want to study, but never overlook money. Study it. Because with all your degrees, if you are poor, they will control you. And even if you have a product or innovation, somebody would have to finance it. And a lot of the times, if you are poor, they will take it from you. College in the US is a debt trap. You don't need a college to become an entrepreneur and have success. I have a very few people who didn't. Yes, because your society. Yes, see, you go to school to accumulate all these degrees on debt, and when you finish, how many years do they even use to pay? Ghana is a bit different. They give you some loan, but it's not that much. And sometimes, even now, the government is trying to absorb some of them. You know, so the government absorbs some, we also pay some. You know, so there is some bit, but it's not much. But I don't think you should go and study all these courses when you finish. You have a lot of debt on your neck, and you can't even find a job. You can't even find a job. Some trades, I understand, need college, but most, yes, maybe lawyer, doctor, you know, those technical things. But a lot of us, you just need the ability to read a lot and understand numbers and create wealth. The people who control most of this wealth, what is the level of education they have? How much education do they have? Because the more education you have, the more risk averse you become, and the more you don't control nothing. You know, but we as Africans, we as Black people, we must understand that we have to be in charge of our wealth, and we have to train our people to go for ownership, build companies. We have to tell our people, build. When you finish college, go and try, build something, produce something. produce a service, produce a product. There are other ways to learn other than college in these days. Yes, I agree. There are a lot of young boys who are tired of all these degrees. You come. Ghana has not gotten to that level, but I know in some of your country, for instance, a lot of them, I know a boy who finished mechanical engineering. He's not using it anymore. Now, he's a mechanical engineer. He's not even using it. Now he's using some IT skills and he's very happy and he's making, how much is the salary of an average engineer? It's not, it's not much. Not much at all. But you finish with that. In Ghana, you don't have to take a loan to go to school. It's optional. A lot of parents are able to pay their children's school fees. So absolutely, our parents and their parents were entrepreneurs and they didn't get a degree, high school, even junior high school. Some could not read, but could build houses, fix cars and invest. Yes, in real estate. Yes, I understand what you mean. Have read Powernomics by Claude. Have you read? No, I have not. I will look for it. Powernomics. Wow. Okay. I will look for that book. So we have to go. I believe in going for wealth. I look at some of my mates now, and we finished first degree. I also even went for second degree, but it has nothing to do with what I'm doing now, and it's not good. It's not good. It makes people miserable. So you meet somebody is in his 40s and he has nothing except degree. It's not right. There's nothing except degree. It's not right. I think we have to learn money. And I think we have to learn how the power works. Power play. Because that's what they've been using all these years. They've been using this thing all these years to control us. And they put us to sleep. Say, go. You go to all these schools. You finish, have nothing. Have friends who are all these big degrees. And they have nothing. And the only thing is that they are happy. They are trying to tell themselves, you don't need everything. Okay, so yes, Powernomics is a very good concept. It follows what you've been advocating. Yeah. So, sorry, I'll buy it on Kindle. I'll look for it and read it. So they know, but they choke us with education, especially those they call the middle class. They choke them so much that they forget about money. Never forget about money. Even if you want to go to school, go. You want to go, no problem. But never forget about money, because money controls a lot. And that's what, and in the moment but in Africa, it's very open. It's very open. The only thing is that a lot of people are still looking for some of those things, So instead of him to go and buy big land in his village and start a cocoa farm, his mind is somewhere, But those who know this, those who do business, those who trade, those who do commerce, they know it. They control a lot of money. You come to Ghana, the people with money, a lot of them don't have degrees. A lot of them have been doing business all their lives. And they have money. The unfortunate thing is that some of them will also push their children to become, well educated. And when the children become well educated, they also don't understand money. But instead of them to get them involved, to understand what they do so that they can take it to the next level, they send them to do courses that have nothing to do with money, have nothing to do with power, and it's not good. So we have to. I think that everybody, you teach your children first about money before you even teach them to go and become anything. Because the guy with money will always control them. Forget about all the super education that you think you're giving them. The man with money be the one telling them where to sleep, when to sleep, when to wake up, what job to take, what job not to take, because they have money. So I would rather study it and have some and learn how to invest it, learn how to grow it, not to steal it, to grow it. So even if I get salary, I'm trying to build wealth. And if it has to take me 10 years, no problem. If it has to take me 15 years, no problem. And I'm trying to build wealth. And I want to build wealth. So building wealth is not a mystery. It's from business, it's from investment. So whatever business that you're building is a tool of wealth. If you're able to turn that into investment, what do you invest in? You can invest in houses, you can invest in a big cocoa farm, you can invest in minerals. Those things, they build wealth. So that let's assume you have 500 kilos of gold and you have kept it somewhere. How much is it now? or you have 1,000 hectare land with cocoa on it. That's or you have, let's say, 100-unit apartment. That's worth. You will never be poor, and your children will never be poor. And your children's children will come and meet those. And all of us can do that. Maybe we'll not be able to build 100 units, but we'll be able to build maybe 20. It's a big step ahead of it. So that when they work out of their heart. They don't work to live. They work to add value. They don't work so that they can get something. And without the salary, they don't know where the next rent is coming from. That, for me, is not right. And it happens to us because we put the money somewhere. We relegated the money somewhere. They told us the money was not important. Now, something hit us more and we have nothing. And that's a lie. And that is a lie. So these are some of the advantages that business will give you. Business is a tool to create wealth. So you use that. And once the money is coming from the business, you learn how to invest it in places. And there are some decisions when you take. You have overcome poverty forever. There are decisions that you take. You're able to build a business, and out of the business, you're able to invest the money in some things. I'm not talking of stock market even. I'm talking of things that you control yourself. If you're able to do that consistently, you have overcome poverty forever. You may not even be extravagantly rich, but you will never be poor, and your children will never be poor because you made right decisions and choices, and you understood the numbers and the figures. So I've tried to share something, and I'm grateful that you took time to watch this. And so I will look for the book V Cooper 52 Powernomics. I'll look for it. Erica Wilson, thank you very much. Unaffiliated Wealth, thank you very much. The Savvy Entrepreneur, I thank you for watching, and for everybody who took time to at least watch this. Thank you. And thank you for taking time. You can also send me a message. If you go to the YouTube page about us, my number is there. You can send me a WhatsApp if you want us to chat. If you want to do something in Ghana and I can help, or I can introduce you to somebody, I will be glad to do that. I think that we have to wake ourselves up and to look at how we can get the money. We are the ones to do this. So please go there, send me a message. I'll be glad to talk to you. Yes, I thank you Lady Amma, thank you for sharing. And Yawa TV, thank you very much. And let's share the channel as well with people, with the little that we share here, so that at least they will wake up. Because the kind of education that they have given us is intentional. We will struggle our lives with it. And even those who do well, they will be happy. They'll be very happy with the little until they get into the retirement that they know that they have nothing. Yes, you please look at that. My number is there. Is at the YouTube there. My email is also there. You may contact me anytime that you want. Once you send me a message, I'll by all means reply back, and let's keep connected because it's our time. So that's it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking your time to watch this. Thank you.